Bitcoin price update for Friday, August 16th. Let's look at the weekly chart. We're going to focus there. The weekly Gaussian channel, we've wicked down just above it. We do not want to close inside the weekly Gaussian. We really don't even want to close below this orange line. What is that? The EMA 34 on the weekly, where we held the line back in July, bounced back up, came back down, held the line in July again. EMA 34 weekly, where we closed a couple of weeks ago, where we closed last week, held the support. Hopefully we close there again this week. If we don't, it's just increasing our odds of going down further, more consolidation. This becomes very important, right? This low close, 55.8. If we close under that, higher probability of closing in, or at least attempting to touch our previous consolidation level, which, sadly to say, is all the way down here. Right, that's where else are you going to look for structure? There is nothing else. Put it on a line chart. That's the only hesitation in this whole move up. That's the only hesitation in the move down. If we take out that low again, that's the next likely scenario. There's nothing for certain. There's nothing certain in life or in crypto for sure. So don't take anything with 100% certainty, but that's the next obvious level to me. You have our 100-week right here. You have your EMA 100 in the blue, right? 44.9. You also have the median Gaussian channel just below that and rising week over week. So even if we go lower, right, I would kind of draw the line right here. If we go lower than that, it's obviously bear market. We got it all wrong. We're going home. See you next season. The drawdown, right, from the high wick to low wick. We've been over 30%, but guess what? We did the majority of that 30% in 8 days, right? A 30% drop. That's a pretty big shake. So to rebound this much so quickly is also a good sign. So if we go higher, we're going to look at that in just a moment, but that's absolutely par for the course. Those 30% moves in bull markets are still absolutely normal. So don't be too shaken. Right here was over a 20% move there. Back here, it was 20% was the norm there, right? We had a 20% here, right? 20, 20, 20. This was the bigger one, but oftentimes, look at the Bollinger Band still pinching up, right? A nice kind of pierce outside of it oftentimes can lead to holding the line and bouncing higher. And I have a couple more things to show you here. So we have our Fibonacci. Let's check that. Where will our next target be if we break out? It's around 95K. The 1618, our high wick to low wick, right? Swing high, swing low. Once we make new all-time highs, that's our next area of interest, and it's nothing before then, right? So our next big move should maybe find around 95K. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in 1 week or anything like that, but our next area of consolidation could very well be around 95 to 100K. Seems pretty logical to me as well. The psychological human emotion of 100K, 95K for the 1618. Obvious. Okay, so now what about this pattern? What can we take anything out of it? Is it any kind of flag formation? Not really. I invite you to look at your charts time to time inversely. It can sometimes remove your bias on bull and bear. A lot of people are either bearish bias, bullish bias. So looking at it from a different perspective, flipping the chart can sometimes open your eyes a little bit more to what you're maybe seeing or what you have seen across the board in social media. So if we look at this, now we put it on closing prices, what do we see here? Well, you're like, well, maybe we see a bottom. Maybe we're trying to form a bottom. But we got to look at patterns. What about patterns? Look at this line right here. What is this? Here's a low. Here's a higher low, and yet another higher low. And if we do that same thing on the top here, right, what do we have here? This is kind of a broadening mouth pattern. Well, what the hell does that mean? I'm glad you asked. Oftentimes, more often than not, all you have is the odds in crypto or any kind of chart pattern, right? Nothing's for sure. But it has higher probability of exiting the way it came in on this pattern. So which way did it come in? Well, let's state the obvious here from this side. So it has a higher probability of leaving in that direction as well. But what do we learn, right? The inverse chart, right? That's the higher probability. That's all we have. Probabilities is to exit higher. So if and when we do, what would we look for to confirm this? Just a higher high. It's nothing more than that. 68, 69K on the weekly chart. Confirms a higher high. Hopefully confirms this pattern of a breakout. And then our next target, 95 to 100K. Simple as that. Get to it, Bitcoin. All right. That's it. Just short and simple. Put out a couple other videos. Trying to keep them short, simple, to the point. Let me know if you like this format or you want me to go back. Quote and card of the day. That's the kind of stuff. More dragged out. Different time frames. We'll see how these go. Short, sweet, simple, to the point. Thanks for watching this long. If you have, 50 gold stars to you.